Hi, so this video here rather, is looking at section A and B of Overrated. That is from the grade 3 book. So as always, what I'll do is break down the section bar by bar, put them all together. And since I'm looking at two sections in this video, I'll put both sections together at the end. So it starts off with this sort of snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, bass pattern in section A. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 is how we would count it. And most of the time it's your snare drum and bass drum doing that rhythm. However, sometimes the floor tom creeps in, and at the beginning of each line we have a crash. So the first bar is easy. It's that snare, bass, bass, snare, bass, bass, snare, bass rhythm. First one is a crash snare, and the next two snare drums are flams. Okay, so we go like this. Okay, second bar is the exact same but just starts with flams. Third bar, the first two flams are a snare, the third one is your floor tom. And then the last bar, we've got this very simple fill. Tap, 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 tap. That's floor tom and snare drum together. So 2, 2, 1, and then the bass. Okay, that's the first line. So I'll put that line together. Okay, the second line, it's near identical. Okay, so the first line, it's the same. First bar is the same, starts with the crash, then onto the flams. The second bar, only the first one is a flam on the snare, the second two are floor toms. So, and then the third bar is a normal one. All three flams are your snare. Then we get your fill bar at the end of the line, where we've got a crash, snare, crash, and then 6 on your snare drum. Bam, tap, bam, da 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 da. Remember, bass drums with a crash. Okay. So I'll play that second line in full. Okay, that's section A, so I'll do both lines together and then we'll move on to B. So here we go from the beginning of A. On to section B. Now, with section B, both lines are exactly the same as each other apart from the last bar where we've got little fills. Okay, and what we're doing, all three of these bars before the fill bar, both lines is the exact same bar. Now it's a rhythm, but we're playing the rhythm on the crash cymbal, and the bass drum is kind of going a bit overload here. So if we ignore the crash just now, the bass and snare rhythm is over and over again. So per bar, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, so we're just filling in all the blanks. And the crash is just playing 1, 2, 3, 4, snare drum 1, 2 and 4, but the bass is doing 1 and 3 and 1 and, which sounds very confusing, but we're basically getting 2 notes per crash cymbal. Okay, we're getting technical about it. The crash cymbal is a 1 beat note, and the bass and snares are half beat notes, so you're getting 2 of them per crash. So sometimes it's 2 bass drums, sometimes it's a snare and a bass drum. Okay, so the bar would go like this. Now obviously that ends with a single bass drum, but the beginning of the next bar starts with 2 bass drums, so that it links up, it makes 3. So there's a gap of 3 bass drums between every snare. Okay, so I know that sounds weird, but I'll kind of loop that round a few times for you. Okay, then we get to the fill bar at the end of the first line, where we've got a 2 bass drums and a crash, and then a snare and a crash, then 2 bass drums and a crash again, and then 4 on your snare. So the bass drum pattern and snare pattern. Okay, with the crash. Okay, so I'll play that top line, and then we'll move on to the second one. So first line of B. Okay, the next line of B is identical right up until the fill bar. Okay, so I'm not going to do those bars of crashes and snares just now. The fill bar starts off the same as the very first one we did, 2 tom and snares together, and then we've got a flam on the high tom, flam on the low tom, and then 2 notes on your floor tom very quickly. So, and that's the 2 and 3 and 4. So 2, very quick. Okay, I will do that whole line now. It's the second line of B. Here we go. Okay, now I'll do all of section B, so both lines together. Okay, and finally A and B back to back. Here we go. So that was it. Now, admittedly, one of the fills I started with my left hand, I shouldn't have, so I had to crash with my left and do the right bit. But yeah, that's how it should sound. Ignore what I've done there in terms of the sticking with that one bar, but that's how it should sound. That's A and B of the section. So use the video to help. Watch it over a few times, look at the sheet music, kind of get the balance between them. Obviously, I've slowed that right down. The speed's 125. You should be playing it at full speed, like this. Okay, so we've got a lot of work to do to build up to that, but anyway, hope that's helped, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next lesson. Ta-ta!